August 15, 2015 marked 70 years since the surrender of the Empire of Japan, when the hostilities of World War II came to an end. After 6 years of devastating war and over 80 million casualties, the deadliest conflict in human history, the world breathed a sigh of relief. It also marked a beginning of the journey home and attempts to resume a normal life for the brave men and women who served their countries in this horrific conflict. While World War II and the actions of the greatest generation are slowly fading from our national consciousness, many of these heroic World War II veterans are still alive and continue to enrich our communities and families. On August 22, 2015, the United States Air Force Armament Museum, in conjunction with the Sergeant Timothy Paget Chapter 811 Military Order of the Purple Heart, the Northwest Florida State College School of Nursing, and over 3,000 grateful citizens of Northwest Florida and South Alabama took action to remember and respect the sacrifices that were made by these men and women, and to share this experience with the next generation. We proudly present our Spirit of 45 celebration.
He was a famous trumpet man from out Chicago way. He had a boogie style that no one else could play. He was the top man at his craft. But then his number came up and he was gone with the draft. He's in the army now, a-blowin' reveille. He's the boogie-woogie bugle boy of Company B. They made him blow a bugle for his Uncle Sam. It really brought him down because he couldn't jam. The captain seemed to understand, because the next day the cap went out and drafted a band. And now the company jumps when he plays reveille. He's the boogie-woogie bugle boy of Company B. A toot, a toot, a toot-a-toot, a toot, he blows it eight to the bar. In boogie rhythm, he can't blow a note unless the bass and guitar is playing with him. He makes a company jump when he plays reveille. He's the boogie-woogie bugle boy of Company B. He was a boogie-woogie bugle boy of Company B. And when he plays boogie-woogie bugle, he was busy as a bzzz bean. And when he plays, he makes the company jump eight to the bar. He's a boogie-woogie bugle boy of Company B. Do-do-do-do-da-da, do-da-da, do-do, he blows it eight to the bar. He can't blow a note if the bass and guitar isn't with us, because they know how he plays. When someone gives him a beat, he really breaks it up. When he plays reveille, he's the boogie-woogie bugle boy of Company B. Jumps when he plays reveille. He's the boogie-woogie bugle boy of Company B.
I joined at the convenience of the president. And I remember very well reading the letter as I'm sitting on the stoop, and my dad looked at me and says, "That's not funny. Why are you smiling?" And he was quite right. But nevertheless, I was called into the service. I had been working for United Aircraft, Pratt & Whitney Engines Division, and I could have gotten a deferment at the time, but I was ready to do something else.
2 weeks later, we qualified with our 5 jumps, 4 day and 1 night. And then we were assigned to the 503rd Parachute Infantry Regiment in the Pacific. And we ended up in New Guinea. I made a jump on Nome 4, which was considered a non-combat jump, but the Japanese were still there on the island. And then we made a non-combat jump on Mindoro up in the Philippines, which the Japanese were around us, but they considered that. But our big jump was on Corregidor, 16 February 1945.
I went through training, and the aircraft that we flew in advanced training before we got our wings was the SNJ, which the Air Force calls the AT-6. And then at that time, we even would get carrier landings in the SNJ, and that was out of Pensacola. They had a carrier based at Pensacola. Then from there, I was assigned to dive bombers, and I went to Jacksonville in operational training in the SB-2C Heldon.
I'm Samuel Lombardo, Lieutenant Colonel, retired, U.S. Army. I was an infantry platoon leader in the Battle of the Bulge as a second lieutenant and a first lieutenant, and fought the rest of World War II in Europe, and then also was assigned an intelligence duty in Japan and in Korea and Vietnam. So I served in all three wars.